Kamaru Usman. As a reminder to media, if you wish to ask questions, please select the hand icon in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. If you do not wish to ask a question or want to be removed from the queue, please select the hand icon again. Kamaru, thank you for joining us, sir.
Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Loud and clear. We will take the first question from Damon Martin with MMA Fighting.
Hey, Kamaru, obviously this fight is kind of strange because it all came together on 6 days' notice, and over the last couple of days, since Jorge took the fight, a lot of attention has been paid on him. In a weird way, is that kind of taking the pressure off you because he's kind of had to do the media, he's kind of had to answer all the questions, and you kind of got to sit back and kind of do your own thing?
Yeah, I mean, things like that don't really bother me because I know I've prepared myself, and I've done all I can to control what I could control. So that's all on him. I mean, he took the fight on short notice, but let's not think that he hasn't been training for this. Like, he has to train for one guy, and that's me. And I was training for a completely different guy. But every time you step in as a champion, you're going to feel pressure. But that's what champions do, is how they are able to get over that.
To that point, we've seen that, short notice for him is being talked about, but there's also a short notice factor for you because, Gilbert Burns is a much different fighter than Jorge Masvidal, and I don't think anyone would have blamed you if you said, I don't want to fight a different guy on 6 days' notice. So why were you willing to do that, and what was it about this matchup that you still felt so confident, even with only 6 days to feel confident facing a guy like Masvidal?
Fighters fight. Especially champions. I've kind of built myself just working day in and day out and training for each and every different styles, each and every different opponents. So it didn't really matter. I trained and was prepared to get into a scrap, and it didn't matter who the face was at the end of the day. So it doesn't matter. Fight is a fight. I'm going to get in there. I'm going to do what I do.
One of the things that you did so well with the Colby Covington fight was, despite all the crazy things he was saying, you just kind of separated yourself from that and went out there. You were all smiles during fight week, and then you went out and obviously had a great performance, knocked him out in the 5th round. I know there's been a lot of bad blood between you and Jorge leading into this fight months ago. But can you carry that same kind of demeanor into the fight where you separate all the personal stuff and just go out there and put on a performance?
That's me personally. Like I said, when I put in the work, and I know that I put in the work, the only thing left to do is just go out there and perform. Whatever he says or does, or his management team or any of them say or do, that doesn't have any effect on me. I'm stone. I see no face, and I get in there and I take care of business.
And last question for you, Kamaru. You said when you tried to land this fight on short notice, you wanted it in an empty arena. You wanted the sound of your punches to land. And I know you've told me many times that, breaking an opponent, beating a guy over 4 or 5 rounds is actually a better way for you to win. You enjoy that more than a first-round knockout, things like that. Now here's your chance. Empty arena, short, all the things that we're playing. Is that kind of in your mindset again, that thing you were talking about originally on Instagram, and then I know we talked about it again afterwards?
Yeah, absolutely. There's a different fight that you fight as a fighter. There's a different fight that you fight with yourself internally and mentally when you're fighting somebody, and sometimes you can kind of get lost in it when you're in a stadium full of 20,000 people, and that could actually uplift you, or sometimes it can be a detriment. But when you have to fight that fight and there's no other voices but that voice in your head, and then now you got a guy beating your ass and he's talking to you and telling you things and letting it be known, just his dominance over you, it's another level of breaking somebody mentally. Like, there's a reason why I love to break guys over the course of the entire fight, because you land a quick punch and you knock a guy out in the 1st round, and the guy can carry on his career saying, oh man, if I had just protected myself against this, I got caught. That was it. I got caught in this submission. I didn't know it. I didn't this and that, blah, blah, blah. There's different type of excuse. But when you beat their ass from start to finish the whole time and outclass them completely, it breaks them internally. It takes something away from them that they can never gain back. That's a fight they don't want to fight again.
Thank you, Kamaru.
And we will take our next question from Jim Varsalone with the Miami Herald.
Yeah, thank you, champ. I'm wondering first, what is it like being there at Fight Island, being part of this super card mega event, and then also some of the disappointment when Gilbert got tested positive and possibly not being able to fight on this big event.
I mean, it's great being here on Fight Island. I think Dana and Dana White and the UFC did an amazing job of putting something like this together. I mean, it's incredible just to see the precautions that they took from bottom to top. And on top of it, yeah, I was disappointed when Gilbert fell out. It's tough to put in a training camp. Like I took time away from my daughter. I've never done that before. I moved away and I wasn't able to see my baby girl each and every day. That you know, it was different. It's a different mindset that it puts you in. It's a different state of mind. And so when the fight fell out, I was very disappointed. And as I mentioned, I was on my way back to her, and then I get the call midway through that travel day that, hey, we might have a fight for you. So I'm just grateful. I'm grateful to be a part of this. I'm grateful for everything that these guys have done, put together, and I can't wait to go out there Saturday night and put on another performance.
Is it a different vibe because Gilbert was a teammate, even though he's an opponent, a training at Sanford MMA, formerly Hard Knocks 365, and now you're going against a rival, in a sense, of American Top Team with Masvidal? And I guess the history, too, when you were with Black Zillions, right? You beat American Top Team for the finals in that battle. Does it present a little more, give it a little more cachet because it is ATT as well as Jorge?
For that, in that aspect, the fact that it is ATT, I guess, you know, because I know Dan Lambert very well, and you know, it's another one that I get to put a check by. You know, I pretty much ran through everybody in that gym, every welterweight they have in that gym, and yeah, in that aspect, it will be satisfying, and also for what Glenn Robinson started with the Black Zillion, this would be satisfying. But you know, towards the end, I see no face, whether it's Gilbert Burns, whether it's Tyron Woodley, whether it's Kobe Covington or Jorge Masvidal. I see no face. By the time we step in there, you know, they have to step, you know, in front of the Nigerian Nightmare.
And Champ, what about the time difference in this, in the sense of you all be fighting so early, and what things have you been doing to adjust to prepare for that and get ready for that?
Yeah, I mean, that's going to be a little tough, but
are you a morning person, Champ?
I am. I am definitely a morning person. For me, it doesn't really matter. Morning or night, I can do them both. It just depends on what the task at hand is. And so if I know I have an early boxing session, maybe 6 a.m. or 7 a.m., that's not a problem for me. I'm going to get up and I'm going to go get it done. And so I think early morning here, by the time I fight, is going to be equivalent to nighttime back home. So it really doesn't make a difference. You know, you guys can see I can perform at nighttime when I'm back in Vegas, and definitely perform in the mornings when I go to trainings.
And lastly, for me, just curious, did Henry Hoof make the trip now? I know, right? Am I right on this, that he was sort of out of the training element of it because you had Gilbert and you, but now that Gilbert's not fighting, is he able to come on board to be there for the fight, or you have others with you for the fight?
No, my coach is Trevor Whitman for this fight. I trained with Trevor. I put in the camp with him. Of course, George Santiago, my grappling coach, has been with me from the start. You know, they made the trip, and they're here with me.
All right. Thank you, Champ.
Thank you.
We'll take our next set of questions from Mojang Wu with Hupu Sport.
Hi, Champ. This is Hupu Sport from China. So when people give credit to Masvidal for taking the fight sharply, people may forget about you are also the one who has to fight with risk. So we know you have a good training camp, but it wasn't designed for Jorge Masvidal. So what kind of a strategic adjustment will you make for him on Saturday?
That's the thing about me and the type of fighter that I am and the style that I fight. It doesn't matter who it is. My style is geared to just breaking and dominating each and every opponent, whether you're a striker, whether you're a grappler, whether you're a wrestler or a kickboxer. It doesn't matter what style you have. You know, my goal is to impose my will and get them out of there.
That sounds awesome. But early in this week, Masvidal said he has one clear thought of your skill level. He said no matter how good you are or not, he predicts his fight will be ended by a Coppola knockout. So what would you react to his preview like this? And what do you think Masvidal? Do you think Masvidal has prepared his force for his capacity for this fight?
I mean, that's what they all say. That this is. Like everybody's making a lot of, he's getting a lot of attention. He's supposed to. At the end of the day, Masvidal is the biggest, baddest opponent that I've faced up to this date. And they're supposed to make a big deal out of that because he's no slouch. I know that he's tough. I know that he's going to present a different challenge. But that's my job. That's why I'm the champion. That's why I'm on top of it. We've seen previously, my previous opponent said that he was gonna leave me out on a stretcher, just like Masvidal just said. He said that he would leave me in a pool of my own blood, and that they would carry me out on the stretcher. And the opponent before that, Tyron Woodley, said if it came to wrestling, he'd kick my ass. If it came to jiu-jitsu, he'd break my arm. If it came to striking, he would knock me out. You all saw how that turned out. So, it's the story of them. That's what they say, just to try to build themselves up and hype themselves. But, very quickly when they step in there, their dreams of being champions turn into nightmares very quickly.
Thank you so much, Chan. And good luck on Saturday. Thank you.
We'll take our next questions from Nesta McGregor with BBC.
Hey, hello Kamaru, how are you doing? Greetings from the United Kingdom. You've mentioned being away from your daughter for a long time and for the first time. How reassuring has all the testing been, and how many times have you been tested leading up to Fight Island? So far I've been tested 4 times in this whole process. So from last Thursday to today, 4 times so far, and I believe we have 1 or 2 more to go. So definitely all the precautions have been taken, and after I go out there Saturday and get my hand raised, I'm glad to know that I'll be returning back home to my daughter COVID-free. Okay, I've seen a quote from you where you said you're going to bless his face with your fists for 24 minutes. The fight is scheduled for 25. So would you be disappointed in a first-round knockout then? Is this all about punishment and teaching Masvidal a lesson for you? That's my goal, always. That's my goal, is to teach a lesson. And it didn't just start with fighting. It started all the way back in wrestling. I'm the type of guy in the wrestling world who I'd rather take a tech fall over a pin. I'd rather beat a guy with such a wide margin that they never, ever dream of competing with me again. And so that's kind of how I approach the fight game. Is, of course, I'm not going to lie, I'm going to take it. If I knock him out in the first round, I'm absolutely going to take it and go home. But I want to break him mentally. I want to break his spirit. It's something about a man. When you break his spirit, it's just something about him. Every time he walks by you, he knows that you are a better man than him. So, that's ultimately what I want to do to him. Yeah, and apologies for repeating this question, but it's just for my own purposes. We've already mentioned no fans, and sometimes, when you land that first blow that wobbles your opponent, the roar of the crowd gives you added adrenaline. Do you think having no crowd, you'll miss that at all? I would miss it in the sense of when I watched the whole Covington fight over again, just that moment when you finally deliver that blow, that finishing blow, the roar of the fans. It's great for optics and for the senses, but at the end of the day, that doesn't sway my performance in any way. Because when I train, you don't train with the crowd. My sparring sessions, I make sure that there's no one really there. There's no music. There's no outside distractions to where I'm locked in. There's maybe 4 or 5 people there, my training partners and my coaches. So it's not going to make any difference whether there's a crowd or there's not a crowd. My objective is going to be the same. Okay, and a final question for me. You are the Nigerian Nightmare. Every time you fight, you have a continent on your back. All around the world recently, we've seen protests about discrimination and equality.
A message for, you know, Africa, and also, are you going to do anything to mark Black Lives Matter or show support in any way for any of these causes?
I mean, absolutely. As a black man, not, you know, living in America and just kind of seeing all of the things that have taken place. I mean, we've been seeing it for years. It's just, I'm glad that it's brought to the forefront now, because I think the world is really tired and they just really want to change. And I think obviously each and every statement that we continue to make, and everything that, all the eyes that we bring to the situation and the attention, it helps in a way to where it helps moves us forward slowly. And I think by me going out there July 11th and making another statement like I've made in my past fights, it's going to help a bit.
Okay, great talking to you, and good luck for the fight.
Thank you.
And we will take our next questions from Carlos Contreras with Milenio Diario.
Hi, Kamaru, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Hey, Kamaru, can you just take me for those last 6-5 months where you heard first from Dana that he wanted this fight to happen in fight week, and everything, I mean, I don't know, the pandemics, Gilbert coming up, and Jorge not signing the contract. How much has been through your mind after you were, I don't know, maybe think of this fight in February and all that happened all the way through July?
A lot has gone through you know, happened. This was the next step of my vision, of my plan, my goals. This was next. I initially was headlining and becoming champion, then headlining my own event. And what was bigger than that? Headlining the most important weekend in UFC, you know, fight, which is international fight. And I spoke with Dana after the last performance, and this was his plan. This is what he wanted. This was his plan, and I was on board with it. I've been on board since day one. And Dana tried his best to make the fight happen. Unfortunately, their side wasn't able to live up to the things that the contract that they signed and things of that nature. And so they wanted to back out, and they said that they didn't want to fight. And then, of course, it came to Gilbert, and Gilbert said he wanted to fight. And I'm the champion. I have to take on all challengers, and, you know, that's what I plan on doing until, unfortunately, events happened, and now we're here. And this was a fight that should have happened all along.
You know both Jorge and Gilbert for a long time now. Who would you say you know the better as a fighter?
As a fighter, I would say obviously Gilbert. I'm trained with Gilbert, and I know just how good he is. I know how tough he is. I know how much of a dog he is, and you know, so there's that added element there with us knowing one another. But with Jorge, you know, he's a talented fighter. Like I said, man, he's good. He's good. He's no slouch. I don't dismiss him by any means. I don't dismiss his skills at all. I think he's a tough competitor, and there's a reason he's been around for so long. Yes, he's had his ups and downs in his career, but at this moment, he's the biggest, baddest dude next in line for me to face, and I'm fully prepared and aware of that.
We're all assuming this fight is going to sell more pay-per-views with Jorge, since Gilbert had a big streak, but he's growing his popularity just this year. Jorge is a bigger name. Is this true? Is this a bigger deal for you in terms of selling?
Yeah, absolutely. At the end of the day, it takes two to tango. It's not, you know, it's very hard for just one guy to be able to go out there and really sell to the masses. I mean, you know, if I think about it, there's maybe a couple of guys in the history that have been able to do something like that. Obviously, Mike Tyson and kind of where, you know, the position to where Conor is kind of approaching at this moment. You know, but only for so long can you sell bullshit to the fans. The fans know if you have someone that's worthy of a challenge or not. And the fact that Jorge had such an amazing year last year in 2019, it puts him into that category to where he is the next biggest challenge for me. And, you know, I'm excited. I can't wait. I think definitely, yeah, this is the fight that people wanted, and it's the fight that the people are getting.
Thank you, Kamaru.
Thank you.
We'll take the next questions from Andreas Hale with Sporting News.
Hey, Kamaru, how you doing?
Wonderful. How are you?
Doing well. So here's my question, because Masvidal's been 5 rounds twice in his career, and he's lost both of those fights. Considering the short notice fight for him, and I know he's been preparing, but he said he had to cut 20 pounds. Are you looking to drag this fight into deep waters? So I know there's a sense of satisfaction for you dragging fights out because of your conditioning.
No, I'm just looking to dominate the fight from start to finish. If I'm dominating the fight and he's tough enough to hang in there, then it might go 25 minutes. But if I'm dominating the fight and he's not tough enough to stay in there, then it might go 5 or 10 minutes. So it's not something that I look forward to. Oh, I want to drag the fight out. No, I know I prepared. I'm in good shape, and I know he's prepared. Like, that's the thing too. People can't forget that. People are thinking, oh, he took the fight on 6 days' notice. I'm the only guy that he had to prepare for, and so it doesn't matter whether he took it on 6 days. I know he's been preparing, and I'm not coming in there thinking, oh, he's not in shape or he's not going to be prepared to fight. Yeah, he had to cut 20 pounds, but yes, I had to cut 20 pounds too. I still got over 10 pounds to go. So it is what it is. At the end of the day, Saturday night, we're going to step in there, or Saturday morning for me, we're going to step in there and we're going to make it happen.
You say you don't see faces when you get ready to fight, but against Colby Covington, after the fight was over, it had to be extremely satisfying to beat somebody that it was so emotionally charged heading into that fight. How do you think that you will feel emotionally once you get past Masvidal because of all the emotions that went into this fight?
They are all satisfying. That's the crazy thing about what we do is this is the addicting part of what we do, is that moment after the fight. I can't wait. I was speaking about this yesterday. I can't wait to get home and get on my couch, close the doors, order some Thai food, and me and my daughter just watching Netflix. That's the most addicting moment to me in this whole process, is being able to go home, mission accomplished, bank account full of money, and you're just on the couch eating Thai food, watching Netflix. That's the best feeling in the world for me, and I can't wait to repeat that.
So my last question, because Masvidal talked about money, there was like a back and forth about money. He talked about he'd be advocating for fighters to get paid. Should you get past this fight, is it time for Kamaru Usman to get paid and to get the rub that some of these other guys have been getting?
Yeah, first of all, I never said that Kamaru Usman was not getting paid, so let's not think that. But at the end of the day, I'm true to myself, and I'm real with what I say. My negotiations with the company are done behind closed doors, and they get done, which is why I'm here to fight. He was the one complaining, advocating, all fighters need to get paid, fighters need this, fighters need that. But the moment he got a little bit extra money, guess what? He said, bye, I'm out, I'm signing, and I'm going to fight. So where's all that unity now? Where's all of that? You talked all this big game about, oh, you're not going to fight if fighters don't get paid, but now here you are. So it goes to show that he's out for himself. But, it is what it is. I'm glad he's getting some money for this because I wouldn't want to not get paid to get my ass beat by someone named Nigerian Nightmare.
I'm sorry, I do have one more. Your father, the ESPN article came out today talking about your father. Have you talked to him being out there, and how excited are you for him to get to see you on pay-per-view in the main event of a title fight?
Yeah, I've talked to him. Kind of moments like this, I kind of zone out a little bit because, I'm the one who has to truly go through this process and this situation. But I'm extremely thrilled. And that was another part of this for me, which is why I was so excited about this fight at this date and this moment, is pre the COVID-19 and the pandemic. This was a culmination of everything that I've done, everything that I've worked for and sacrificed for. This was the moment that my father was going to get to be there cage side and watch his son that had put in all this time, all these countless hours and all these efforts to get to this point, to be center stage in the world. And, it feels good to know that he's going to be home with my mother and they get to watch it, live on pay-per-view. But it would feel even better if he was here in the stand, in the arena with me.
So that means he'll be there for the next one, though, while you're still champ.
Absolutely.
Good luck. Thank you for the time.
Thank you.
And we will take our last set of questions from Louise Green with MMA Crazy.
I am Kamaru, this will be your second title defense, but out of all of the opponents that you've had in the past, where does Jorge rank?
He's the best. Out of each and every one of them, he's the best. He's the next guy in front of me. He's the toughest guy in front of me. So, I don't take him lightly. I'm going out there with all of that thoughts. The thought that he is the best opponent that I've faced to date, and I have to go out there and treat him accordingly.
And obviously he came out of he had the big knockout win over Askren, and then most recently over Nate Diaz. What have you thought about his past performances, and what are you going to be expecting from him on Saturday?
No, he's a very, very tough fighter. He's very skilled. There's a lot of things that he does well. He had an incredible 2019, great year, coming out and doing the things that he did, and really kind of propelled him into the position that he's in. But my job is always to go out there and derail all of that. My previous opponents were all doing the same. The one before that had 3 or 4 title defenses back to back, and I went out there and made him look like an amateur. And the last guy was on a 6-7 fight win streak, dominating performances, and I went out there and still got the job done. And nothing changes here. I understand that Jorge's tough. I understand that he's very skilled, and I do believe that he believes that he's going to come out and try to take my head off. I believe that, and I'm going to go out there, and like I said, I'm going to treat him accordingly, and I'm going to discipline him the appropriate way.
Gilbert Burns recently told ESPN that he was hoping and rooting, obviously, for you to win, not only because, obviously, you're former teammates, but because he thinks if Jorge wins, he's going to hold up the division by facing, the likes of Nate again and Conor, and not the real number 1 contenders. What's your opinion on those comments, and how important is it for you to hold on to this title on Saturday?
Well, it's important, title or no title. It's important for me to continue to be victorious and continue to improve in every facet of the game. And so that's what I'm continuing to do. I don't worry about what other people think or what other people care about. What I care about is myself. And the best way for me to go out there and represent myself is to be victorious in each and every competition. So, of course I want to go out there and get the victory in dominating fashion, in exciting fashion, and take on the next opponent, whether it be Conor, whether it be George St. Pierre, whether it be Burns, or whether it be Covington. It doesn't matter. I see no face that the name does not matter. I'm going to prepare the same, and victory is what's on my mind at all costs.
Okay, thanks for the time.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kamaru. That is all the time we had for you, sir.
All right, thank you.